This series focuses on celebrities who are committed to taking HIV awareness into spaces where it doesn't get enough attention. And I mean, I don't think there is anyone that I can think of that has done this as well and for as long as you have. You've been such a huge champion for HIV and AIDS for so long, and still doing it today. Congratulations. I saw the Diva Simply Singing event in December. That was fantastic. Oh my gosh. Did it take a lot of work to put that on?
It took an awful lot of work to put it on, but I tell you, I always tell people to please choose joy and work in your joy and passion, because when you make those choices, it's never work. It's just what has to be done. And when we were given the opportunity to take Diva Simply Singing to television, I just had to grasp it. I just had to grasp the opportunity to take to the TV waves to tell people that HIV, AIDS, and other life-threatening diseases must be taken, must be paid attention to, especially now in this season of Corona.
This speaks to something that I read about you. Last year, you had an article that was published about you in Essence, and it talked about how you are living the life of your dreams. As we can see, based off of this background and this beauty and the flourishing hair and everything else, that you're living the life of your dreams. And, I would love for you to tell us more about how you've manifested this over 4 decades and how Black women in particular really need to be unapologetic about their dreams.
You know what? It's so funny that you say that. I voiced a character for a short film, and the line is manifest that shh. And I believe you got to manifest that shh. You must be about the business of manifesting your dreams. And too many of us are in denial of ourselves and our dreams. Like, oh my God, should I really dream that big? I mean, do I really deserve that? I mean, who am I to think that that could actually be me? Well, who are you to think that that should not be you or could not be you? And I find over and over the number one person standing in your way is yourself. People want to block their dreams every which way they can. When they find they're getting close, they want to start talking themselves out of their dreams. I'm like, I'm all for me. I love me. I wake up in the mirror, I look in the mirror and I say, oh, I love you, girl. Come on, what you gonna do today? There was that YouTube video, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the dreams reside, where the dreams reside. Manifest all of that, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Thank you.
Taking that 2020 lesson into 2021. I love
Because
it.
we have to be about it that way.
Yeah.
We have to be about it that way. Because if you're not telling yourself that it's not possible, trust me, there are a whole lot of people around you who will tell you how your dreams are not possible. And see, if you don't build yourself up, pray yourself up, love yourself up enough, confirm your goodness, your greatness, your dreams to yourself, they start to fade away because you let yourself and other people talk you out of it. I'm showing up for myself in my life. Yeah, I am.
That's my 2021 manifesto. That's what I'm manifesting. I love that. And I feel like that's such a lesson that I got from 2020 and how I'm trying to enter this year. I'm in this year very different than I was last year.
There was something very regular about last year, something very normal about, 2019 going into 2020. Then things changed. And then we learned that word pivot. And then we learned that a lot of people were not ready for change. A lot of people could not pivot. A lot of people got stuck. But then there were those people who realized all their lives they were thinking how unimportant they were. And they became what? Essential. Thank you. But God says it, what? The last shall become first.
You know, so at Black AIDS Institute, and you've been with us for so long. I mean, you were hand in hand. You're at every event. Whenever we call on you, you know, you are always there, showing up and showing out.
When it
What
was just a dream for Phil, for
it
Phil
was.
Wilson, when it was just a dream. How are
Mhm.
we going to make this happen?
Mhm. And here we are now, 21 years later, you know, staff across the country, really kind of national initiatives across the country that are showing impact, that we're growing, and that, you know, it's such a different world today. Now we talk about being able to end HIV within our lifetimes. And what a beautiful vision to have. What a beautiful kind of thing that we could give to the next generation to say that we ended HIV. And I know that is what you've been doing because you celebrated 30 years with the Diva Foundation, right? So you've been doing this work for that long. And I think there's something also really kind of specific about me and you, right? Being Black women who are HIV negative and have dedicated so much of our personal lives, our professional lives to fighting this pandemic.
Which is
I
hard.
It is hard. It is
Which is
hard, you know?
hard.
And how do you stay committed? How do you stay committed? You know, I've been doing this for what, 13 years now, and I can't lie, especially this is my second year now leading BAI, and it's been a hard transition. You know, it's been things I thought I was good at that I'm like, oh, I'm not good at. You know, there's this huge kind of way that I know, like, the work that we do, it changes lives, it affects lives every day, and kind of that burden, and always wanting the best for our people. And that can be hard. And, you know, the commitment, you know, how do you stay committed with HIV as an issue like it is for as many years? You know, what keeps you committed? And how do you define also being an ally for somebody?
You've just said a lot, but the one thing that sticks out for me is how do you want better for those who may not want better for themselves?
Mm.
That is very difficult. In fact, I think it's almost impossible. So when we talk about Black women, women of color, dreaming bigger, embracing their dreams, Black people must do the same thing. You know, here we are in Black History Month. We cannot let our refusal to pay attention to the great health challenges we have, that if we don't pay attention to them, we will become history.
Mm-hmm.
There
Mm-hmm.
will be a museum and there will be people or whatever artifacts where they were dark as night and bright as daylight. That's what Black people used to look like, because we have a tendency not to want better or more for ourselves, and we deserve it. And we cannot expect anybody else to take those steps for us. We must take those steps for ourselves. In the fight against AIDS, we are the people we've been waiting for. We are the people we've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do I stay committed? I stay committed when that one special person steps up to me and tells me their story. And I see how what I have done has impacted one life. Because my father, in all of his living years, used to tell me, if all you do is help one person, then you have done a lot. And I'll never forget being in New Orleans. Tall, handsome young man came up to me and he said, Miss Ralph, you came to my college and you spoke. He said, and I heard you. I heard what you said, and I went and got tested. And it was me. It was me you were talking about. It was me you were talking to. But I think you have saved my life, because I'm in treatment now. That is my mother. She is with me, and we are here to say thank you. Now, if that's all I ever heard, that was enough. So that is how I stay committed. That's how I stay committed. And this whole thing about being an ally, all I know is I show up for people who have shown up for me. because when the time comes around and I need somebody to show up for me, I need somebody to know I consistently showed up for you. I consistently loved on you when you didn't even love on yourself. I consistently took the blows for you when the blows were to be taken, because folks were trying to figure out who to hit, because they were going to hit somebody.
It's centered in, first valuing yourself as an individual when you believe in you, right? And that's kind of how we started the conversation. You talking about, believing in yourself and hyping yourself up, that you then have that expectation that other people are going to treat you that way and you aren't going to accept less. And if you believe in yourself like that, then everybody else who's human around you, they deserve that same type of respect. And I think
Thank
that
you.
and I think that there's something, I think that there's a uniqueness to Black women, because of our experiences, because of how much we have to love ourselves in the face of folks and systems that don't love us, that, we naturally love other people and we stand up for other people. And, there's the term of allyship now, but I think that only captures, an inkling of kind of really how Black women have shown up through history consistently, for folks, because
Since the
we love
moment
people.
we arrived on these shores, we have been taking care of people. We have been loving people who have hated on us consistently. We have shown up for others. You and I both know that. Look at this, the suffrage movement. Look at the suffrage movement. They left Black women out. There were some women, white women at the front, who said before a Black man gets the vote, they would chop off their arm. Now, if they were going to do that for the Black man, they weren't even taking us into consideration. And we know that there were 22 young women who picked up their banner, walked from Howard University all the way downtown to the Capitol, and said, if you will not find a place for me, I will find a place for myself. And when they put us to the back, they said, history will write and record that we were here. There were greater women. There were more educated women. There were women of greater stature who were also there, but they were jockeying to find their place in the suffrage movement. And these 22 young women took up their place right there and said, I am here. Look at Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States of America. You know how good she must be to where she is? You think she got there just because somebody liked her? Uh-uh. She got there because she deserves to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And worked harder. Mm-hmm. For sure.
And took the blows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And took the blows.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So much has changed in HIV over the past 4 decades. Miracles and godsends. People, before were dying, from HIV, and we didn't have these amazing scientific advancements for prevention and treatment like we do today. So now we hear these conversations, we see these initiatives, and people are really talking about, and we believe that we can end HIV within our lifetimes because we have these amazing new biomedical tools. But as you know, there's still this huge gap, right? Black people are still more likely to acquire HIV. We're still more likely to die from HIV, though, we have medication that can keep people alive for long and healthy lives. We have PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis, so people who are HIV negative can stay negative through a pill a day. We have new tools like injectable medications that have been approved, like amazing technology that's been advanced. But Black folks, we're still dying from it. We're still acquiring HIV. What do you think? How can we really engage the Black community, especially young people, about HIV prevention and treatment therapies?
To be young, gifted, Black, and alive. Why would you not celebrate that? Why would you not cherish that? Why would you not put yourself first in life so that you can be here to thrive and be alive?
Yeah.
Why accept less than what you deserve? We continue to do it. But with great reason and great cause. Look at why we are in the season of COVID-19. Many of us have now been deemed to be essential, and we still don't want to take the
Mhm.
vaccine.
Mhm.
Why? Because we have been so hurt in the past,
Mhm.
because we have been guinea pigged up and down and around,
Mhm.
because when we have been shown to be the miracle, you took the miracle from us and gave us nothing from it and used it for yourself. So we have been hurt. We have been hurt deeply. But now we must get over that hurt because they keep flipping the script on us. And it's hard because if we don't show up, if we don't claim our spaces in the lines for this doggone vaccine that they're all taking, that they are all going to get, we will once again be left behind. We will be hobbled with bad health. We won't last because we have so many underlying diseases that we have to deal with.
Mhm.
We still are carrying too much weight, emotional, physical, mental. We're still carrying the weight, and we won't put it down because we are so used to it that we believe we must carry that weight. Until we put it down, it will continue to kill us.
Mhm.
Now, I know a lot of people want to talk about the Tuskegee Experiment. It happened. We died. It was horrible. Henrietta Lacks, she was the miracle. They took from her what they would not give to us. It was horrible. And still, we get no apologies. And still, people want to act like, well, why won't they take it? It's sort of like when you're in the middle of a divorce and it's like, wait a minute, you cheated on me. So wait, I'm supposed to what?
I got to make it better now. Mhm.
I should make you feel better now? Give me a break. Now, that's also us finding our voice and speaking up and speaking truth to power.
Mhm.
Because if we don't do it, trust me, we won't make it.
Absolutely. No.
How difficult is it to have safe sex? How difficult is it to have safe sex when you know that you are in a higher risk of contracting HIV? How difficult is it to wear a mask when you know you are at a higher risk of contracting COVID-19? See, we don't have the power of the privilege that some other people have. Because, see, some of them, they get sick, they got insurance. They
Mhm.
got a hospital in their community that's like what, less than 20 minutes that they can get to? HIV and any other life threatening disease. Why are we dying quick? Why are we dying fast? Because we don't get into care quick enough. By the time we present in the emergency room, at the clinic, wherever it may be, the diseases have worked their way into our body. HIV has all become AIDS, and then we're where? On our way out.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's an old and ancient story. Why are there places where they've got these doggone bags collecting the human feet and limbs of Black people because of diabetes? Why are Black people dragging around half their bodies because of stroke? Why do so many of us have HIV that becomes AIDS? Why? We must take better care of ourselves. We must value ourselves more. And just like we demanded the right to vote and vote the way we did in these past elections, we got to demand now go back and demand these hospitals, this health care, the things that we deserve, get involved
Mhm.
and get what we need.
This summer, with the uprisings that we saw across the world, where folks were saying that Black Lives Mattered, we talk about all the time, if Black Lives Matter, then they must matter all the time. And surely health is one of the biggest ways that we see inequity, and we see, the systems that show that Black lives really don't matter to folks, and don't matter to these systems. And you segued so beautifully into what is the health crisis of today. And coronavirus, COVID-19, SARS-CoV is literally the biggest pandemic to hurt Black people since HIV. I know that you've been personally impacted by COVID, losing family members. And after decades of being an HIV advocate, you did exactly kind of what all of us are doing, is really drawing these parallels between these two epidemics, between HIV, between COVID, and really how it's fueled by anti-Blackness. And I think that something that you have done so beautifully is that you also are showing and talking about how, like, this anti-Blackness, it's internal too. It's how we don't think that we deserve more, how we don't think that we deserve to be healthy, that we don't deserve to be happy and to have joy within our lives, and we accept less, right? And I'm hoping, I feel like there's a change coming, but I think COVID-19 is surely kind of one of the huge ways that we see that we have to change these systems. I mean, I would love for you to speak a little bit more about, the parallels you see between the HIV epidemic and COVID, and what you think we have to do differently to respond to COVID based off of what you know from these decades of doing HIV work.
I think one of the things that we have to realize is we have underlying diseases and issues that must we've got to take care of them. Just the other day, a young woman was sitting down and she said to me that she wasn't feeling well. She said, I just don't feel well. It was obvious to me that she was carrying a certain amount of weight, right? It was obvious to me, the way she was breathing. Now, I always keep a high blood pressure cuff, always, wherever I go, and there are Black people. And plus, I need to always keep track of my own personal numbers.
Yes.
I put the cuff on her, pressed the button. It said error. I was like, okay, that's strange. I said, okay, just sit a few. I pressed the button again. It said error 2. I said, okay, put your feet up, have a glass of water, don't talk, uncross your legs. Press the button again. She was so far off the chart, I got scared to have her around me. 191 over 93.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh my God. I said, you're not well. And she laughed. She said, huh, but I have to go to work.
Oh.
I said, girl, you got to go to the hospital. You got to get some medication. You've got to take this. And I gave her 2 pills right away. I think she must have left them right there. And I thought to myself, I said, God, why are you showing me this? Because this is how we treat ourselves. Because even when it's given to us, sometimes we figure, no, I don't need this. I can make it. I don't deserve it. Another day. No, there's no time like right now. When you see people like us dying and they're fighting obesity, and you can see that. You can't see that they may be fighting diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
They may be fighting heart disease. They may have had those small mini strokes where you get that headache so bad, the worst headache you've ever had. And you're like, oh, let me just go lay down. No! Fast. They try to tell you, take action. Your face, your arm.
Mm-hmm.
Stroke, time to take action. Call 911. We don't feel we deserve these things, and we're so broken. We feel, well, who's going to come for me? I don't have an ambulance that's going to come to my neighborhood. I don't have a clinic that's close to me that I can walk to. And if I walk, I might die walking there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're suffering, I swear, post-traumatic slave syndrome. We got free. They figured out how to put us back into bondage. Those of us who were brave enough to strike out died along the way, and maybe those were the lucky ones. I don't know. But we are still suffering all these hundreds of years later. And the suffering is real. Because when you look at how we're dying in Corona, when you're looking at how infected we are with HIV, we weren't born that way, and it's not our fault. And quiet as it's kept, you start talking about the Native American population.
Yeah.
My God, my God.
I think there is work we have to do around really responding to kind of the roots of these inequities, the roots of all of this, the roots of why, there's resources that we do have available, whether it's HIV testing, treatment, whether it's COVID vaccines or COVID testing, whatever it may be, why we're not taking advantage of those things. Why many
But
times we go through.
hold on, because say that again. When testing is available, why are we not getting tested?
Mhm, mhm.
When vaccines are available, why are we not getting vaccinated? When condoms are out there, and in some communities, yes, they are expensive, but if you can get to the clinic, you can get a whole bag full, might last you a month, some of you a year.
Depend on your life.
Why are we not taking advantage of it? When masks are out there and you get to the right clinic, you get to the right representative political office or health clinic, they will give you some. Why are we choosing not to wear them? Why are we choosing to wear them if we do improperly? Because you get no points for covering up your mouth.
No.
It is to cover your nose and your mouth and to fit tightly. You can even get some to match your outfits.
You have them, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're out there. Why are we choosing not to do it? And I just want to say, we're not alone. Whole lot of other people choosing to do just the same thing, but they have different access.
Mm-hmm.
They have different options.
I'm gonna close this out from this wonderful conversation. I'm sad I'm gonna have to let this beautiful background go. Um, you've powered through such an incredible journey of life. And looking at you, following you on social media, being able to engage with you all these years, it's such an inspiration. And you are all the goals, the way you love on yourself, the way you love on your community and your family, everybody. I mean, it exudes from you. I would love to get some words from you. What is an iconic Black woman like yourself, words to other Black women, especially in hard times?
You know something? I wrote this book called Redefining Diva. It's available on Audible now, Redefining Diva 2.0. And one of the most important things is something that I say all the time. Show up for yourself in life. Show up for yourself in life. If you can't wrap your head around that, show up for yourself the way you show up for everybody else in life. Realize that you are worthy. Your crown has been paid for over and over and over again. Pick it up, put it on your head, and wear it. Look in the mirror and love what you see. Love what you see. Encourage what you see. Empower what you see. And do better for yourself. As my Jamaican granny would say, good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better best. And some of us have real work to do. We're not espousing the goodness. Some of us just have nastiness that we keep vomiting out to the world. Try to change that. Try to breathe in the good so that you can let out the bad. Put down the weight. Don't be a bag lady. Don't carry anybody else's weight but your own. And excess baggage does you no good. No good. No good. So you might as well do good for yourself and start right now, because in 60 seconds, you and God can do what you have been trying a whole lifetime to do. Just decide right now, I'm going to make that change. Ooh, isn't that a record? Come on
Thank
now.
you so, so much for doing this. Thank you so much for having the conversation with me. Thank you for using your celebrity always to advance Black folks. This is a wonderful conversation with my soror, Sheryl Lee Ralph, the amazing diva, the icon. I'm so grateful for you sharing your time and your wisdom with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
When hopefully, when outside opens back up and you come back to LA, we'll see you soon. Until then, I'm enjoying all of your Instagrams on social media, all the Jamaica. It looks amazing, amazing. You are glowing. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
All right.
And
Have
be
a good rest of your
strong
day.
in your leadership.
Thank
Thank you.